Well, hey, and welcome to another episode of Be Able to, that was a weird hey. All right. But anyways, we're here today with yet another video and keeping the one hand clapping. I'm coming to the conclusion. I think that's it. This to me makes sense because it makes some sort of noise. But yeah, I think it's really this. But we've got the next little bit of one hand clapping and a little bit of thoughts and reviews on it too. So before we do get started with that, though, I do want to thank all my subscribers and thanks to you new subscribers. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. And do hit the notification bell so you know when I got new videos coming out. Also, please give the video a like. It really does help out the channel. And do leave a comment. I love having a discussion with everybody. But let's get on with this next episode talking about... So yeah, we're going to talk about one hand clapping again, and I got my copy the other day. I've had it for a little while, I guess, at least now, but of my 2 LP and the 7-inch single there, the EP. Little bonus there. There's the hype sticker, and just going to talk a little about. We'll show this quick, and then we'll talk a little about the album, kind of my thoughts on it. Not like a real review, but kind of thoughts and just what there all is. There's the track list there. Hopefully that's coming up good to see. And you know, getting to watch everybody else's kind of reviews and thoughts so far, and kind of my reaction to them too, I guess. So we'll kind of go with it at that. But yeah, there was the front, the back, and the spine. Not a lot of people have shown this. Few people have, but it's nice green inside. So one thing that kind of is complained about on this is kind of the artwork isn't that great. Well, it's better than you expect. It really is, because this is kind of plain. It's controversial too in a way. I don't know. It suits it in a way though too. The one hand clapping, one wing, so you got wings. I don't know. But if you look closer, and it's hard to see with the shrink wrap, and it never shows up, even if I took the shrink wrap off, you wouldn't see it on the camera right now anyway, I'm sure of it. But you got kind of it's an aged look on this, and it's really kind of cool. You can even see some ring wear here. Like it's been sitting in the record sleeve for 50 years, because this is 50-year-old music, so this is a brand new album. But yeah, they got like a little ring wear kind of showing in there, kind of some coffee or tea or dirt stains kind of in the corners here and that. So yeah, if you really look at this, it's got that bootleg feel, and I really feel like that's what they were doing. And it's front and back. You can see it all over the little stains. Like it's been sitting in somebody's collection for years. Just some bootleg that, not some brand new thing, but it's an interesting package. And I don't think it's the greatest artwork, but I also kind of see what they were going for with it. But there's your inner sleeves, and not really much to show. I don't even think I'm going to pull the records out past that, but they're just black records, standard black. And yeah, you can see the labels there. Am I holding it right? Yeah, there we go. There's side 1, side 2. And I think this is cool. You can kind of combine the sleeves to make a complete wing. I think that's kind of cool. There we go. But yeah, here's disc 2. And we got side 3. I think I got that up right for you. And side 4. I wish they would have went a little more on the label at least. I suppose still keeping the bootleg thing. Most bootlegs didn't really go too elaborate on the labels there, so maybe that's what they're going for. Now, obviously what everybody wants to see with this is the EP, the 7-inch EP that came with it there, with Blackpool, Blackbird, Country Dreamer. They got it labeled on here, I'm Too Tired to Rock, but it is 20 Flight Rock, Peggy Sue, and I'm Gonna Love You Too, ? All right. And there's the back there. You can see that track list. And this one I'll pull out and show you the label and everything on it. So I believe that's side 1. It would be right based on the track list there. And I did get a chance to listen to this last night and really enjoyed it. Not much there, about 6 minutes altogether, I think. Side 1 and side 2 on that. A little over 6 minutes, maybe a little less than 7, somewhere in there. And then of course there is the little poster pull-out thing here. Now this is weird. I think why they use so much blank space here. You do get the artist's signature down there, whatever, but all that. Now, if you do get a chance to, I'm not going to read it to you. I know other people have, but these stories are quite funny. They're little interviews or write-ups. But yeah, it's definitely worth a read. It's a laugh. It's funny. This whole album, though, is kind of a laugh if you really listen to it. And I've been listening to the CD here all week and really enjoying it. I've got my car out that's actually got a CD player in it, so I've been able to enjoy actual CD music and that. And let me tell you something. I know there's the whole thing with CDs, the loudness war thing. This is not part of it. And what amazed me is this almost begs you to play it loud. The system in my one car, it's a factory system, but it's a pretty good factory system for the time when it came out in 2006. It was kind of a premium car, so a premium kind of system. And I was listening to it the other day, and I usually don't roll my windows down, but I have my windows down, and my motor's a little loud in the car too. It is a American muscle car, so. But I know it's got a subwoofer in there somewhere. I've never seen it. I think it's buried somewhere behind the back seats, but usually it distorts so bad with whatever you got. This, it didn't distort. I had it fairly loud, especially for having the windows down. And I was at a stoplight, and I mean, it was just amazing. It was like I was at Abbey Road Studios or some big stadium watching Wings play. And it was just perfect sound. It was just, and I had to turn it up just a little. I couldn't believe I was finding myself turning it up. And I could feel in the seat, I could feel it just the seat shaking and just everything. It was just amazing. The bass and it sounded so good and clear and clean. So kudos to whoever mixed this CD. It sounds fantastic, and I just gotta throw that out there. I usually don't get too deep into that type of stuff, but I had just a moment with it the other day, sitting at that stoplight, and luckily it was a long stoplight. I know most people bitch about that, but I was like, I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh, I don't want this to end, because it was just perfect. And I think having the windows down helped it to kind of, flow a little on that. And the seat was shaking and everything. And it was just probably the motor rumbling a little too helped it a bit. But I think I was listening to, I want to say it was Jet. I think I had just started listening to Disc 1 again. And I think we had just got onto Jet, and then Soily popped in. And the two of them were just, it was so cool. And overall, I've really been enjoying this. Not just, the fact I've primarily been listening to it in my car on that. I listened to it one day down on the CD version because I hadn't had my LP yet. I listened to it on the sound system down here too, and it sounded really good. But in my car, it just sounded fantastic. And I need to spin the LP now. But overall, I'm not going to go into each song or anything, but maybe just say a couple of highlights on there. I know everybody's been kind of complaining about Maybe I'm Amazed. I really like Maybe I'm Amazed. I like the keyboard on it instead of the piano. I think it really gives it a true live stadium feel, and the reverb that's kind of on there. It really feels like you're sitting in Madison Square, listening to it. I've never been to Madison Square. I don't know what it would really sound like there, but it had that just great feel and everything with that. And I've really been enjoying it. And the only thing I know everybody kind of says it starts great and it ends great, and kind of sags in the middle there. And, it kind of that, when he gets into that, just Paul on the keyboard or whatever. And let's see, what would it be? Let's see, I'll Give You a Ring and Let's Love All of You. Those kind of, where it's just kind of him. Those kind of bring it down. However, I know people would complain about Babyface too. I like Babyface on here. It really shows him sitting in New Orleans, hanging out with the jazz musicians and that, because it's really got that, both Babyface and Blue Moon of Kentucky have got that just Dixieland jazz feel to it. And I love Dixieland jazz. I haven't dabbled too much in jazz, but if any jazz I'd really get into, it would be that kind of, that New Orleans Dixieland type jazz that definitely got that sound on Babyface and Blue Moon of Kentucky. Yeah, I really enjoyed those two for sure. And I like Power Cut, the little request. It kind of almost felt like you were listening to a BBC program there, like live at the BBC Beatles there with that. And I love that they didn't take themselves serious with any of this. I know it was a rehearsal thing kind of, and they were just getting ready for probably the big tours there with Wings. And, you know, and they kind of goofed and had fun, and it really shows in the album. And that's what I love on this. And I'm going to be listening to this a lot. I think Paul has put out a couple of really good live albums. He hasn't done a ton, but what he has done over the years, there's a handful of those ones that he's got have been quite good. I mean, Wings Over America is probably one of the best live albums I've ever listened to. And for his newer live albums, I absolutely love Amoeba Gig. And I think I hear a lot of other people say that they really like Amoeba Gig too. So, and then I think this is going to go right up there. It's kind of a blend of studio and live, but you know, it's really good. I really enjoy it. Yes, it's got some parts that kind of lag a little, but the highlights on it are so much better, you know, that it just kind of outweighs. And I love several of these versions of these songs. And I was listening to another reviewer, you know, saying, "Oh, this will be my go-to of, you know, 1985, or this will be my go-to of this." And I was really kind of surprised to hear, you know, not going with the standard studio one, that this live version on One Hand Clapping. Let's show you the LP. Why not? See, as that was the main one we were looking to show today. You know, that's going to be your version of that to go to, and really kind of surprised me on that. Now, there's several songs on here that, you know, this is maybe one of two places where you got it. You know, that it wasn't on a studio album or wasn't even a B-side or anything, but maybe it showed up somewhere else just kind of randomly. And there's quite a few songs on here like that, but yeah, I don't know. Overall, I just really like it. One of these days when I get the Destino score figured out, we'll do a true proper review, and I think it's going to score very high. Another one, just as I'm looking here, I really like Wildlife on here. Wildlife, Paul's vocals on the studio version of that are fantastic. One of his best vocal performances, most people will say, and I'll agree with that. Wildlife on here has got such a different vibe, and on the album, I think it goes a little long. And here, I love it. I love the difference on it there. So maybe that'll be my go-to, Wildlife. How about that? But yeah, I don't know. Just overall, I'm giving One Hand Clapping a really good, really loud one hand clap. I applause it with one hand. I've really enjoyed it. I'm glad it's out there. I'm glad they finally officially released it. And I'm going to be definitely spending a lot of time with this album. So, and like I said, one day, once I got that Destino score really figured out and finalized, I am going to give it a good proper review. So stay tuned for that coming up one of these days with One Hand Clapping. There we go. And let's see, what else was I going to say? Oh, yes, I'd love to see the film get really cleaned up and officially released kind of on its standalone thing, not just with the Band on the Run archive. Because I watched that footage the other day. You saw my video on that, and it's good. It was a good little whet your appetite for the album coming out. But it's the quality of the film was pretty poor. The sound quality was really good on it, but the film was really poor, especially for DVD era even. And you know, it'd be nice to see it cleaned up and, you know, put onto like a Blu-ray or a 4K. I think Blu-ray would be fine with that, but you know, just see it cleaned up and done up on that. Now that the album's had its proper chance to shine, let's get the film to really get out there and shine too. It's kind of sad they didn't have it as a companion with this. That would have been great, like a nice little box set package, the album with the film. Would have been cool, but, you know, what can you do? I suppose, too, maybe they're still letting Band on the Run archive have its moment with it there on it, so who knows? But anyways, I don't want to make this too long because I want to get this edited out there for today, and I do want to get wrapping up right now, so Before I do, though, once again, I want to thank all my subscribers and thanks to you new subscribers. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do, and do hit the notification bell so you know when I got new videos coming out. Also, please give the video a like. Like I always say, if you've stuck around to this point, you must like it, so please give it a like, and do leave a comment. I love having a discussion with everybody. Let me know your thoughts on one-hand clapping. Are you enjoying it as much as I am? You know, what do you think on the packaging? I don't think... I'm up and down with it. Yes, it's plain, but I get, when you look at it harder, you really get what they were going for there, and it's kind of cool in that way. But I still think it's kind of plain. But anyways, before I get rambling too much, I'm going to get signing out fully. I am Beetle Dustino, signing out.